Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's Down and Dirty is for anyone who lives in the north and is new to operating. Tonight we're supposed to get, well, I should say, tonight we're supposed to get cold. We're not supposed to get snow until tomorrow, but we are supposed to get below freezing tonight. So one of the last things you got to do at the end of the day in the north, if you're going to get a freeze, is shoveling tracks. Now fortunately, Cody has been generous enough to start in on this for me, but this is one of the necessary evils when you live in the north and you're going to deal with the freeze. So any sort of a tracked machine, you're going to want to make sure you park on something other than wet soil. So as you can see here, I've got the excavator parked on all of our mulchings from today. That way it's not on the actual soil, because if we look here, like this is nasty, wet, and this isn't even some of the really wet stuff. If we walk over here, you can really get a feel for like just how damp the soil conditions are. And so what happens if you park the machine on this soil is overnight when it freezes, you actually get huge chunks of soil. Best case scenario, I should say. Best case scenario, you have huge chunks of the soil freeze to your tracks, and then half of your track chain or your track pads are thicker than the other half, and it's a really, really rough ride for the first couple hours until you actually manage to knock the chunks of frost off. Worst case scenario, you can actually freeze the machine to the ground. That's not a joke, that's not an exaggeration. You can literally freeze a machine to the ground to where it will not move. So it's always best to park on grass or on mulchings, or if you've got some asphalt that you can pull out onto. Anything with tracks, you want to get it off of any sort of wet soil. If you've got really dry virgin dirt, it's not that big of a deal, but especially in conditions like we're in right now where it's just kind of got that dampness to it, you don't want to park your tracks on that. The more important thing is what Cody's doing right now. So this is one of the shittiest parts of running equipment in the winter up north, is this job right here. As you can see, he is really getting up in there under the rollers. You want to get right around all of your rollers. You want to get right around the sprocket back here. And then what I'll actually do once he's done shoveling is I will actually pick this machine up off of the ground on this side here, run the tracks around once or twice just to get a bunch of this stuff off of the bottom, and then set the machine back down, and then I'll rotate around and do the other side. And basically what that does is it ensures that your machine moves in the morning, because you will 100% lock the undercarriage up if you do not do this and you get a hard freeze overnight. You will literally not be able to use your machine. You have to tarp all the way around it. You actually have to set up torpedo heaters. It's a disaster, and you will get your ass chewed if you do this and actually freeze the machine to the ground. So that's what I wanted to cover today. It sucks, but unfortunately that's what we have to deal with here in the north. Like I said, you only really have to worry about this if you're going to get a hard freeze overnight. You have to get those tracks clean, otherwise you will, again, kind of best case scenario, you're going to freeze up a roller and wear a flat spot on it. Worst case scenario, your machine doesn't move and you got to spend the first half of the day working on thawing your machine out. So that's all I've got for today. I hope this has been helpful. As always, feel free to drop comments, questions, even if you just want to kind of share in the loathing of having to clean tracks, drop it down below. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Just a little PS, so that you guys are aware, as rookies in the industry, every time you clean tracks in the wintertime, you got to look out for that guy. Let me show you how that happens, because any veterans of the industry that are watching right now are having themselves a good chuckle and relating, because everybody freaking does it every season. What happens is you stab your track shovel right in here, and then your knuckle just ever so lightly grazes this step or the track chain or the track pad, depending on the angle that you're at. And it does a lovely job of just taking that top layer of skin like off your whole knuckle, and it feels incredible. It feels so good. So when you go to clean your tracks for the first time, and this happens to you, welcome to the club. You're officially an operator. All right, you guys have a good one. We'll catch you on the next one.